Good evening. Welcome tonight. Today is January the 7th, 2020. It's a brand new year. We're excited to be here tonight. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for caring enough about your county to be here tonight. Our thought for today, you make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. That's Sir Winston Churchill. I'm going to go ahead and officially call this meeting to order tonight. Our invocation tonight, we are lucky to have somebody here tonight, Mr. Jason Johnson. We want him to start us off this year with prayer tonight. Jason is doing so much in this community. It's amazing. His church Stewart has grown to, I think, about 600 members.
Well, we're not quite there
Not
yet.
quite. You're pretty
No,
close.
we get really close.
You're really close, and a lot of those members are county employees. So, and you know, we are so thankful for what you do, not only as an employee of Newton County, but also as a pastor in this community. And so we welcome you tonight to tell us a little bit about what you got going on and kick us off and cover us for this year in prayer.
All right. Thank you so much, Chairman. We have come through our busiest time of year at church with Christmas and the holidays, and so now we will move towards Easter. It seems like it's a never-ending cycle, and you guys know that. We do that at the county. It seems like we're in our busy budget season now, and that seems never-ending as well. But I appreciate the opportunity to come and stand before the board tonight, and so let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we pause just a moment to thank you for the blessings of this day. Your word says that this is a day that you have made, and we are to rejoice and be glad in it. And so, Father, my prayer tonight is for this board, that you would grant them wisdom and knowledge, understanding, and discernment as they move the county into the year 2020. Father, my prayer is not only for this meeting tonight, but for every meeting that we'll have here in this boardroom this year. Father, I know that there'll be those moments where votes are difficult. There'll be those moments where comments will hurt feelings. And Father, in those moments, would you just usher in your spirit of peace here in this place? Would you remind us of your love for us and for others? Father, would you extend your grace and your mercy in those moments? Father, I thank you for this board and their willingness to always open these meetings with prayer and seek your guidance. Father, I thank you for the work that they do on our behalf. Father, I ask that your hand of blessing continue to be upon this board, upon the employees and the families of Newton County and the citizens as well, Father. Father, as we draw closer to you, may we draw closer to each other and truly realize a saying that we use around this place all the time, that we are one Newton. Father, I just ask that you continue to bless us. We love you. We thank you. We make this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chairman.
Pastor, listen, my assistant got sick today. I think you know that, so I didn't get your certificate. But I do want to let you know that we do appreciate you. I will have it for you tomorrow. But I am so thankful for what you do again for this community and being a great employee. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I got a meeting to head to at the church. So all right. Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. It's our first meeting, and ladies is always first. Commissioner Schultz. I want to thank Commissioner Schultz for that pledge and thank Jason for that prayer as well. Next on the agenda is the adoption. If there's any changes, we seek a motion to approve. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Schultz. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. This opportunity, we allow citizens to come up and make comments about agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only. You may come at this time. Thank you. Next is the chairman's report. Tonight, I have with me Mr. Fred Johnson. Sir, if you will, please come and give us an update on MLK Day.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The chairman here had asked me to come and give a updated report on our Martin Luther King cemetery cleanup project. I asked Mr. Brian, to run a couple of pictures for me, if you would. And anyway, we'll go ahead and start there. This year, on the 20th of this month, which will be the Monday after King's birthday, we planning on going out trying to do 3 small cemeteries this time. And this is one here. I think this is the one on 212 and 162 and 212 Twin Rivers subdivision. No houses are in there as of yet. I talked with one of the landowners on yesterday to make sure I had access to get in there, but that property had been sold now to another firm. But anyway, you can see the big trees in there, right in there. There's a fence around there. But if we wait 4 or 5 years from now, just imagine how large those trees gonna be. People will come in and build a house there. They're not gonna know what's in there. So, it's up to us to, try to take care of what we do have. We plan, like I say, we're gonna try to do that the fields at Twin River, 162 and 212. And there's another cemetery. It's at Santee Bluff, 213, going out Jackson Highway 36 to 213. Just before you get to the river, there's a subdivision there on the right also. Mr. Ellis and we had looked at that one a couple of years ago. We planned on trying to do it, but we ran out of time on it. But I think I want to go back and, do something to that one also. And this one here, I think this one is also one that I want to try to tackle. It's not that much. These are small cemeteries. This one is at where is it? The reserve at Bear Creek. It's a little small cemetery in there on the left-hand side as you go into there. The homeowners, they had contacted me back in the spring, I think it was, and they had a wooden fence around it, and they wanted to, there was a couple of trees had fallen on there, and I told them that we would try to do something to it. It's rather clean right now. The homeowners, they went ahead and put that fence up out of their pocket, because there was just a little picket wooden fence around it. So they went ahead and did that. I think they told me they spent about $2,300, for that. And I told them I didn't know if the county going to reimburse them for it or not, which I'm sure they're not, but we're not. But anyway, maybe they can get the HOA to, reimburse them for it, But anyway, we plan on trying to do at least 3 of them this time. And if we have enough time, we'll try to do some more. Miss Laura Burcham and Molly Melville, in the past, they've been working with me, helping me out, get students to, volunteer to help. And we be trying to give them refreshments. And I think Miss Schultz, she already given me a donation toward this. And I would like a donation from from the rest of you all also. Any way you can help us, we appreciate it. Sheriff always been nice about helping us out, contributing some food or whatever we need. So that being said, yeah, I think Miss Molly Melvin, them, they told me they was going to try to get the football team from Newton High to help out. And of course, we're going to also have kids from Georgia Perimeter College and Oxford College if necessary. There's going to be a lot of other things going on that day, so we just have to take what's left over and do the best we can.
Can you tell us where we're gonna meet up at?
Beg pardon?
Can you tell us where we're gonna meet up at?
We're going to meet up at the Newton County High School.
At what time?
Probably 9:30 or so, 9:30. Then we'll disperse from there. Then I'll figure out which way we're going to go, whether we're going to go that way or this way, you know. But we depending on how big the volunteers will be, I might tackle the one that's going to take the most time on first and everything. See, I think that's about it. You know, donation is always appreciated, and we would like to, you know, if you could help us, we do that. Brian, I know y'all seen this booklet there. They did an article on me from last year's cleanup. There's a few pictures in there and everything, and I wish we could have got those pictures on for this, but nevertheless, I appreciate them, you know, doing this. And by the way, Mr. Edward, I went down to the Poplar Hill Church back a while back, and the young man, he had called me this morning and want to know if we could come and clean that cemetery off. And I told him we didn't do that. We just try to do the ones that I know that nobody's going to touch. So that's what it's all about. Other than that, I guess I'm finished. By the way, Sheriff, somebody ran off the street again today. Wow. Off the bank. All right. Other than that, are there any questions? Anybody needs questions?
Everybody good? Thank you, sir. We
Thank
greatly-
you.
Greatly appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Next in the chairman's report, we have a update from Sarah Hall, Economic Development.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are very excited, and I just want to say thank you to you all. I know the chairman and I had a moment to talk about this today, but it's been in the papers, thanks to our lovely papers, and from our honorable governor, Governor Kemp, announced on Friday that we have a new company coming to Newton County. So Lidl officially announced that they are making their way to Newton County, and I just want to say, first off, thank you for the partnership and what your team has done. Lloyd and his management, and really the guidance between what we've been able to work with between our office with myself and Dave. We can't thank Lloyd enough, to Judy Johnson and what she's done, to Chester and his team. And so it really happens with a bunch of other people in the process. And so we're very excited about this new company. It's our first German company coming to Newton County. And if you saw the announcement, they're going to invest $100 million and create 270 new jobs. Lidl is one of the largest grocery retailers in the world, and they're looking to place their regional headquarters for distribution here. It will be fully refrigerated type systems. And so the jobs that we saw that were here throughout the project was a high wage type jobs. They're looking anywhere from $20 to $22 an hour starting out. You'll see all different types of jobs. So warehouse workers, heavy in logistics with truck drivers, and then fully automation with what they're trying to do in technology as well. So you're going to see more development that's coming on. This is going to be on the west side of town, close to Chamisa off of Irish Drive. But we do have some things that we got to go through, obviously, permitting and other DRI components before we really get started. And so, but I just wanted to say thank you. And if you had any questions, but again, we're very excited and we thank you for your partnership and what the county's been able to do to land another company.
Thank you so much. I didn't see Dave. He
Yeah.
had his head down back
He's
there.
hiding.
We greatly appreciate you guys and what you do and how you sell Newton County, and put us in, keep us up there. So y'all do a great job, and we greatly appreciate it. We got a great team of people that has been assembled to work together. So thank you. Guys, y'all have any questions? Right, quick questions. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
This is off the top. So that exit, or the non-existence of an exit right there at that overpass, I guess that will be just slightly west or right at that property, right?
At the Rockdale line?
Yep.
Yeah, we're very close. We've got about a parcel or so.
I mean, what are the chances of a full-blown four-way ramp right there? I mean, I know it would take some pressure off of the next exit. So what, could that be part of the discussion with maybe the DOT at some point?
So we have recently, even through the recruitment, have met, as I mentioned, with Lloyd and with Chester and GDOT representatives. We're looking at all options. Currently, the company is doing an additional traffic study than what we've had currently. We did a first kind of phase traffic study. The good news is there will be major improvements all the way around that non-interchange, the overpass. I'm not a GDOT expert or speak for them on saying this, that it would or would not be possible, but I can tell you that I do feel confident that we've got a great partnership with a company that has and already is communicating heavily with GDOT to understand what's the best way to keep not only their employees safe, their citizens safe, and make sure that we have any through traffic to work. So that is something that we will take into consideration on whether or not it's possible, but that's a little bit early to say right now.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the county manager's report. Mr. Kerr?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few things I'd like to bring to your attention before I go into the report. We have some dates of some meetings that are coming up. As you know, we'll be meeting on January 14th with the folks from our economic development group. And the board will be meeting with those folks from, this will be a meeting at the center from 8:30 to 4:30. And hopefully we'll make sure that everybody, I think we've checked everybody's calendars and you all are available. On January 17th, we will have the groundbreaking ceremony for the senior services expansion. So we're real pleased about that. We're already some of the work has begun. They've removed some trees and done a little bit of groundwork over there right now in anticipation of that. So hopefully we can get everybody to come out for that. This is a big move for us, and we're real glad to be able to do that. A couple other things that are coming up. We're looking at scheduling a work session, a special call meeting for a T-SPLOS discussion. That will be a joint meeting with us and the municipalities in the county. And also Newton County 101, Newton County Government 101 will begin its classes in February, the first week of February. And we'll be doing that. We'll do one class a month for the next 6 months. And so we'll have a schedule. We'll get that schedule together, and and then we'll be disseminating that probably within the week. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that we are tentatively scheduling a meet and greet with the community to meet the new extension agent. And this is something that we asked the university to be sure to do with us. We were involved in the interview process, and I believe that the candidate will be very suitable. And the announcement of who it is and all is up to the university. I know they wanted to complete all of their background checks and whatever documents that they needed before they wanted to announce. So I will leave it with them. But I will tell you this, that one of the comments that was made by Sheldon Hammond, who is one of the individuals who is in charge of recruitment and so forth for the Department of Agriculture, said that we were the most, of all the counties that he has dealt with, we have been the most involved county that he has ever worked with in his time with the university. So I think that says a lot for people here wanting to be involved in things and wanting to have a say-so in the direction that we go in here. So, so let me there's a couple of things I wanted to bring to your, that I've highlighted in the report. You do have a copy of the report there in front of you. We will be receiving additional grant money from Planned Parenthood, another $53,000 that will go to assist for payment of sterilization programs for animals in our animal shelter. We've continued, they've been a great partner for us, and and because of our efforts in that direction, they've recognized that and have lined us up to receive more funding from them. Couple of other things that are going on that are of note. There's been a new severe weather siren that's been installed at the FFA camp to help get the warnings out if we do have, we're coming up shortly on our tornado season, and so that'll help provide warning to those in that area of the county. The RFP for the new fire station, Fire Station 8, is back in. The committee will be meeting to select the contractor, and if all goes well, we think that we'll be able to break ground on that in February. So that's moving along. Sanborn mapping, which has been contracted by us to do our flyover, will be flying the county this month and next, and so we should have those new photos, updated photos, uploaded and in use by May. We also the Munis upgrade should be completed in spring of this year. We've begun that work. That at Munis, of course, is our financial system, and the employee cybersecurity training program that we started is continuing. We have had phenomenal increases in the awareness of our employees. We had in the space of about 3 weeks, we went from a 50% pass rate on identifying phishing attempts to an 86% rate. So we've improved quite well. The training was quite beneficial, and we're going to continue to do so. Kendra Mayfield with the Juvenile Court Services has been appointed to the Housing Authority grant writing team. They are looking at a $38 million grant application to revamp low-income housing in Newton County, and so we're glad that Kendra's been able to be a part of that. She's also a part of the Academic Community Engagement Board at Georgia State Campus, and they work with a number of youth in the community and a lot of outreach to our citizens. All Recovery, wanted to remind folks that it meets on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. at the community, at their community services building over by the library. All Recovery is for anyone who's struggling with any form of addiction or who's supporting someone who's going through recovery. So we want to make sure that we announce that. Also, our website. During the month of December, we had 15,000 unique visitors, which is almost a 1,000 number increase over November. We've had 36,000 page views, which is almost a 4,000 increase over the prior month. Animal control and open records and jobs are the three most visited sites on our website. Public Works will begin the work on the 2020 LMIG schedule just as quickly as the weather warms up a little bit so that we'll have asphalt available. We do anticipate we'll get started towards the end of this month. Road stewards inventory is almost complete with sidewalks. They were to grade our roads, our sidewalks, and our signs, and they've completed the roads. They're almost completed with the sidewalks, and they've also completed a sign inventory for us. Over at the senior services, one of the reasons we need to expand is because when they have an event, it's generally very well attended, and at their Christmas luncheon, they served over 205 people with lunch.
Wow.
So doing great things over there, and we want to hope to continue that. Groundbreaking for the animal control building should be next month as well. So, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Commissioner Schultz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have a question, but I wanted to share something with you, Lloyd, to see if you had this information. Just before I came in, I got an email from a commissioner in Fulton County that sent me the grant applications for the Secretary of State reimbursement for the elections equipment. Supposedly, each election office should have received that, but we can receive up to $15,000 in grant money for that new equipment. And I'll send this over to you, and if you'll forward it to the Angelas,
Sure.
to make sure that we comply with that grant application in a timely manner.
Great. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Commissioner Henderson?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Question I have, how much is the election equipment? What's the total cost of it?
Pardon me, the election equipment?
Yes.
A great portion of it was paid for by the state. I'll have to find out. I know that we need to purchase additional machines, and I'll find out that number for you and get that to you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
You bet.
Commissioner Cowan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just an update, Lloyd, on where are we with the county code, getting it codified? Do you have any information on that, Sam, anybody?
Actually, I'm going to defer to our county clerk, the board's clerk.
It's not new yet. They're waiting on the ordinances. It's coming from Development Services.
Okay,
They're going to codify everything.
okay, so that probably this year sometime. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, guys. Next is the consent agenda. We have several appointments tonight. First of all, let me thank Commissioner Stan Edwards for being the vice chair of last year. Did a wonderful job, so we do say thank you for that. This year, it'd be Commissioner Mason, Demond Mason, will be the vice chair if he accepts. I'm sure he will. That means yes. So he will be the vice chair this year, and we're excited about that. So that means if I'm not here, Commissioner Mason will fill in for me, and so I greatly appreciate it. Also, Commissioner Cowan for Zoning Board Appeals. You have Mr. Scott J. Want to say a few words about? See, he's here tonight. Would you please stand, sir? Want to say a few words about Mr. J?
Sure. Scott and I have been talking over the last 3 years, various issues and everything, and he's very involved in the county and interested in serving. And when I called him and asked him, did he know anybody that would be willing to serve? He said, let me think about it. And he called me back and said, what about me? And anybody that wants to volunteer, I'll take you. So I do appreciate your enthusiasm to serve and willingness to serve. So thank you, Scott.
Thank you, sir. Also, Commissioner Calvin, Planning Commission, Mr. Jody Smith. I don't know if he's here tonight, but we also thank him for his willingness to serve. And also for the Board of Health, Mr. Phil Stone. He'll be going back on as well. He's not here either. But Mr. J, thank you so much for your willingness to serve and help this community, your community. So we do tonight say thank you. Commissioners, I ask, there's no changes. I seek a motion that we approve the consent agenda. It's been motioned by Commissioner Schultz and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is discussion and consideration to transfer economic development from the chamber to the IDA Industrial Development Authority. Mr. Kerr, me?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, the chamber made an announcement last month that they would know effective I believe the 1st of January, that they would no longer be responsible, if you will, for the economic development function. Mm-hmm. And so with that, it's necessary that the economic development team have a place to work and also all of the questions and logistics that go into running an economic development department. Those questions have to be answered. My understanding is that there was discussion with the Industrial Development Authority, and so there has been some agreement there to house the economic development function. And what this is simply doing would be to agree, is for us to agree to move that function from the chamber over to the Industrial Development Authority. All of the logistics and all of the details that would be necessary, documents and so forth, the intergovernmental agreement and so forth, would be forthcoming. There's a group of people, of folks who are working on all of that. And so once all of those are determined, then that would come back to the board for your approval. The move from the chamber to the Industrial Development Authority does require review by the county and by the city of Covington.
Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I think it's been no secret that I really wanted it to stay with the chamber, but if they've indicated that they are no longer interested in housing economic development, then we have to find a good home. And so I think the IDA makes the most sense. One of the things that I've always been concerned about is that I don't think it needs to reside in the county or the city alone, because there are, we're a big county and we need to all be working together, and so that we need to have shared interests. So I think the IDA allows for that. There are some concerns that I have in terms of the actual management of that entity and how that's going to work. And so if we give our approval tonight, are we giving approval to like carte blanche on how, whatever the IDA decides, or will the mechanics of how it's actually operated, will that come back to us in the form of, as you said, an MOU that we have to approve and make sure that we are comfortable with the actual mechanics and the policies and procedures that take place?
Tonight is simply a move to say it's okay for the IDA to house ED And there's a team that's been in place who will work out the details, and they'll bring them back to the Board of Commissioners, as well as the City Council for their approval. But tonight is simply saying, okay, yes, it's good for economic development to be housed at the IDA.
Well, and I think that one of the things that the IDA has in terms of their board is that they have representation from all the entities. They have representation from the city, they have representation from the county, they have representation from the chamber, and they also have, I guess there's 5 members of the IDA, is that correct?
Mhm.
So there's 2 at-large members as well. So there, it's a good balance. So I'm comfortable with that as a second resort, because I would rather it be at the chamber, but that's not an option. I just want to make sure that we have the opportunity to really look at, once that committee has given their recommendations, that we can really look through those recommendations and have an opportunity to study those.
Thank you. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have, my thinking has evolved over the last year or so, and I think the timing is probably right to move economic development to the IDA. My concern is similar to Commissioner Schultz in terms of, she used the term carte blanche. I would like to understand and have something documented that explains to me and demonstrates to me the dynamics, the structure, their operations, of how that's going to look going forward, especially if we're going to write the check to continue to support economic development, which I'm sure we will. But I just want to understand and have something documented that says this is where we're headed. This is the operation of ED going forward, and this is who we report to. This, all those operational elements I need to see. I need to put some eyes on. I don't have a problem today raising my hand and say, yeah, I think it should be with IDA. But before I have an official, or we have an official vote, that I got some things I need to understand. That I found out about this in the paper. So you could imagine my surprise. I mean, I'd heard the conversations about it before, and I understood that, and I had moved to a different place with my thinking. But I need to know. I need to understand some of the working dynamics, and I don't think that would hold up anything they want to press forward with. But I think this board, my opinion is this board, before they do an official vote, ought to have a better understanding of those operational elements. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Anyone, Commissioner Henderson, and then Commissioner Cowan.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Just refresh my memory, how is the IDA, what members are on the IDA, and I guess how many members are from this board a part of the IDA? Just 5 members, am I correct?
Now it's myself, Commissioner Cowan from this board, former Commissioner Sims is the chairman, Mr. Dobbs, Bill Dobbs is a member, and missing somebody. The mayor, Steve Horton, yeah. Okay, Commissioner Cowan.
Just to clear up a couple of things. One, I'm on there as the chamber appointment because they don't have a president. And as soon as they get a president, it's my understanding that I'm coming off. So the chamber will have their full representation there.
Yep.
But we do have a model in place as far as how this would work, and that's with the Solid Waste Authority. And how that's structured a little bit, that intergovernmental agreement. We're mostly concerned about how we take care of the employees, their payroll needs, their benefit needs, those type things like that. So the intergovernmental agreement will structure mostly around that. There will be have to figure out some issues as to supervision, but I think, in my mind, it would report to the chairman of the Industrial Development Authority, and we kind of stay out of that. realm. So we've got a model in place I think will work well for us.
Thank you, sir. I want to also remind us, yeah, guys, we got to be mindful. Is well, I ain't gonna say that. Anyone else? Anyone else? So we are gonna call for a vote tonight for actually moving the IDA. Moving the ED to the IDA. So, and then they'll come back and before the board again, they have to get approval for the operations part of it. So I seek a motion tonight that, I seek a motion tonight that ED is transferred over to the IDA. Yes, ma'am.
Add to that motion that an MOU would come back to this board with the structure and the policies and outlining the supervision and the framework for the IDEA for economic development. Would you like to frame that for me?
It's 90 days. For 90 days. Mhm.
So if we could, I think you hear exactly what we're asking. Can you help us frame a motion?
I'd be happy to.
Please.
The proposed revised motion is to approve transfer of economic development from the Chamber of Commerce to the Industrial Development Authority, contingent on subsequent approval of an IGA laying out all the logistical details for board approval.
And I will make that motion based on that well-worded motion.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Schultz and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson?
I guess, I thought I heard that District 1 Commissioner Stan, he said that he learned of it from the paper. If I'm wrong, you correct me. And I had probably no knowledge. I didn't read the paper. I've been doing other things. Why are we in such a big rush? I mean, why can't we sit down and get it together and then come back and, like we used to have work sessions and talk it over, make sure everybody well informed? Is it something that we just have to, is it a rush? I mean, I'm asking that question.
Yeah, you can. Commissioner Cowell?
The current agreement with the chamber expired as of December 31st.
Yeah.
And I think they gave us
90 days.
a short time frame in there, and then they extended it and said, we'll do it for 90 days.
Mhm.
So that's why nobody's really had time to really put this thing together yet. But I do think we've got a good model in place already. So I think that writing the intergovernmental agreement would be fairly routine.
Commissioner Schultz?
And, I think we were all pretty surprised by, it caught all of us off guard. None of us knew about it. None of us knew about it. We read it in the paper. It was not, the communication was not handled properly. But we have a team that's working right now on a lot of projects, and we've got to give them some direction and give them some confidence. And so I think that it is important that before we sign we go forward with an agreement, that we do in fact have a work session, and that we iron all of these details out with a work session that we are all, every single one of us are comfortable with. We were put in a very difficult position, quite frankly. It would have been nice to have had this opportunity to have this progress and this process before we were faced with this particular dilemma for us. But I think exactly where we are now is that we've got to give ED some direction, but we need to make sure that we have a very methodical step or process going forward to get to where we all know exactly what's going to take place over the next year, 2 years, or however long the MOU is for. So I I wholeheartedly understand the sentiments of Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Henderson. I would just say that with this particular motion, we need to make sure that we come back and have a work session before we go any farther than this point.
Can do. Anyone else before we, Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One last thing. Could we have that, I guess it was a resolution restated? I want to make sure we've got contingent verbiage in that, and just as you stated, Mr. Attorney, that language is in this vote.
It is. So I'll reread it. As he so eloquently stated. Motion to approve the transfer of economic development from the Chamber of Commerce to the Industrial Development Authority, contingent upon subsequent Board of Commissioner approval of an IGA spelling out all of the logistical details.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Next, item number 11, resolution R010720. Second modification of a promissory note. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a modification of the promissory note that was entered into, a loan that was entered into with GFA, the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, for needed repairs at the landfill. This modification extends the completion time excuse me, let me flip the page, to the 1st of May, 2021. And so I'll read the modification now. Whereas the borrower has borrowed $2,617,000 from the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, the lender, pursuant to the terms of the loan agreement dated April 5th, 2017, between the borrower and the lender, and whereas the borrower's obligation to repay the loan made pursuant to the loan agreement is evidenced by a promissory note dated March 24, 2017, of the borrower, and whereas the borrower and the lender have determined to amend and modify the note and loan agreement pursuant to the terms of a second modification of promissory note and loan agreement, the second modification between borrower and the lender, and the form of which has been presented to this meeting. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the borrower that the form and conditions and terms and conditions and the execution, delivery, and performance of the second modification are hereby approved and authorized. Be it further resolved by the governing body of the borrower that the terms of the second modification are in the best interest of the borrower, and the governing body of the borrower designates and authorizes the following person to execute and deliver and to attest, respectively, the second modification and any related documents necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by the second modification.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Schultz.
So shouldn't this modification have an extended date in it?
Yeah, this
This is the resolution for the modification, but shouldn't the resolve actually reference the date of the extension of the second modification?
that date would be today, and I'm going to defer to our county attorney to advise us on that.
Thank you. So the resolution comes as a package with the attached modification agreement. So by incorporating by reference that modification agreement, which does itself contain the May 1, 2021 date, we've got the date, I think.
So, I mean, I see the May 2021 date, and it just seems to me that it would be cleaner if we had the date referenced in the resolution as well, but I don't know, maybe that complicates it.
Well, as with anything GFA related, they have their form.
Okay.
So,
Need we say more?
exactly.
Thank you, sir. I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Cowan.
I make a motion to approve the modification of the GFA loan, promissory note and loan agreement, resolution R010720.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Schultz. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is item number 12, appointment of the county manager to a one-year term. I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Cowan.
I make a motion to approve the appointment of Lloyd Kerr for an additional one-year term as county manager.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look here, I appreciate what Lord has been doing. It's, for the county and his work ethics and how hard he has been working, him and his staff. And it has really made, and I can't speak for nobody else, it has made me in District 4 look good. And it's very appreciated, and I'm very appreciative. And I thank him, and hey, continue to work with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Commissioner Schultz.
Well, Commissioner Henderson and I have been on this board a long time, and I would say this board is functioning as smoothly as it ever has, at least since I've been on the board. And I think that's a testament not only to all the board members, but especially to Lloyd and our chairman. You guys are doing a great job of working together, and you really tag team well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Thank you. Well, listen, I'm gonna be the third wheel. Mr. Kerr, I greatly appreciate what you did this year. I think you did an amazing job, especially with dealing with this strategic plan and the employees and rolling it out and working with the Fosters. I see them in here tonight. Hey guys, we always gonna speak to y'all. It's been good for the county. It's been good for not only the county, the employees. It's been good for the community. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I would just like to say that that I've got a tremendous group of people that work with me every day and that help to make all this stuff happen. So I don't want to overlook them and the contribution of each and every employee to the good of the county. And I have enjoyed and appreciate working with all of you. It's been a great experience. And yes, I do hope you appoint me for another year. Thank you.
Any more? All in favor? Thank you. 5-0. 5-0. Next is the appointment of the county attorney to a one-year term as well. I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Schultz.
So are we appointing Gerard and Davis, or are we appointing Megan Martin? How are we supposed to appoint Gerard and Davis as the county attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will make the motion to appoint Gerard and Davis as the county attorney.
It's been motion by Commissioner Schultz and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, what I'm saying is most people know me. I am just who I am. And I kind of say, I think last year I turned 63, and this year I turned 64 on August the 1st. And sometimes when you get a certain age, you kind of just almost say what you want to say. And this is one of the cases. I have never known, since I've been on this board, and I've been a little bit longer than most of the commissioners, for us to have paid as much money as we've had, and there haven't been an outcry from the public for us to have an in-house attorney. And that was one of the things that I was sold on a few years back when they, when we got rid of the last term before last, and that we were gonna go in-house. It never has happened. I'm looking forward to it, and I think that it's not right for the citizens of Newton County to pay as much money as we're paying for attorneys. It should be cut. It should be cut. It should be cut. We should do what we said a in-house attorney, and we haven't did it. And so that's where I'm at. Not that and I want to be clear, not that I don't like or love Megan, I do. Maybe if she was the in-house attorney, then I wouldn't be making this statement. But it's too much money, and I believe, and maybe somebody correct me, that the deficit that we had was the same amount of money, or close to the same amount of money that we spend on attorney fees.
Thank you, Commissioner Cowell.
I just had the same question. We had discussed this in the past about creating a law department, and I think last year we'd actually set aside an amount of money for creation of that. Of course, in the budget, we decided not to go that direction, but the question I've got is Newton County ready to create something like that? Or do we want to continue as we are? And as far as I'm concerned, I can go either way. It doesn't matter to me. But I do think you will, I say this reservedly being an attorney myself, you will save some money, hopefully. You may save some money. You may not. It's really a roll of the dice, whether we save money or not, because you don't know what's going to come up. And I'm not sure exactly. I think we said we were going to do that. I think the citizens have asked us to look into that. We're just going to have to make a decision on this, where we're going to go. And it's no reflection on Gerard and Davis. I think they've done a good job. The question is, how do we want to structure ourselves? And I'm good pretty much either way, but I do think that we told citizens that we would look into this and figure out what we could do to trim those costs. So.
Well, it's I've said it several times, and I love Megan to death. I think Megan is a great person, and it has nothing to do with her. But we have said that we wanted to move towards a in-house attorney, and I was planning on asking Mr. Kerr during the budget season to see how we can establish a legal department. So I don't know if you guys want to. Oh, well, we have a motion on the floor now. But Commissioner.
No, I was as soon as you finished, Doc.
Yeah. But we do have a motion on the floor. I don't know if you want to table this tonight, but I do think we owe it to the citizens to keep our word. And we did say we want to try to get our legal costs down as much as we possibly can. Again, it has nothing to do with Megan. She's a great person. I think she's a great attorney. Commissioner Schultz.
So my question is, Lloyd, if we if I was to amend my motion, because I wholeheartedly agree we need to examine, and we did that last year in the sense that we established an office and we had Megan, or we have a county attorney here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we need to really evaluate how that's going, and if that's something we want to continue, or if we want to have an attorney here all the time. But I guess my question for you is, if I amend this motion, are we allowed to do month by month, or this says to appoint the county attorney for a term of 1 year. Can we just appoint an attorney for 6 months until we have an opportunity to study whether we want to move forward and how that would work in a budget. Is that something that we can do with our current agreement?
Do you want,
Let's
So-
let Sam.
Speak to
So
that,
your,
Sam.
your county ordinance says the county attorney serves at the pleasure of the board.
Yeah.
I personally can't speak to what is in the agreement, but I would be surprised if there wasn't a way for you to terminate with some notice at any time you needed to.
So, okay, so that helps.
And my recollection of the agreement is that
Yeah.
the agreement would remain intact until either party decided that it, for whatever reason, wanted to terminate the agreement. There are certain things for cause and all of those things, but we could give notice. We would have the ability to, even if the attorney, Gerard and Davis, were appointed for a year, we still have the option, I believe, to go to end that relationship if it was necessary to do so at some point during the year. But I will say this, that Gerard and Davis has done, as you all have recognized, they've done a really good job, I believe, for the county. And they continue to do so. There's been quite a number of things that have been able to be settled during the last 3 years that drug on for, 20 years. And so, I would bring that to you, that Gerard and Davis is a known quantity to us. And so we know the quality of their work and their ability to guide us in the right direction when it comes to legal matters. So there is that. That's also, a part of the consideration plus the working relationship that we have developed. But if the board does decide to do that, I believe, if I'm going on my recollection, that we would be able to do that. But I also will say, regardless of what we do, whether we operate or have an in-house attorney or whether we continue to work with Gerard and Davis, legal advice is a very expensive thing. While we may save some, one of the benefits to having Gerard and Davis is the fact that they do have a staff of attorneys who have expertise in contracts and taxes and human relation, HR, and so on and so forth. No single attorney can be an expert in anything, in everything. So I think that's another part of the consideration is, and I say that because even if we have in-house attorney or attorneys, and most likely we would need at least a senior attorney and for want of a better expression, a junior attorney, assistant, there still is a strong possibility that we'd have to go out to outside counsel for work on some of the issues that we come up against. So that should also be part of the consideration, and what might that cost be. So, I understand, and believe me, the budget has been a challenge for me, and will this year be a challenge as well. And when we can save some money, we definitely want to be able to do that. But at the same token, we got to keep in mind too what the real costs, what some of those costs are, and some of the hidden costs that we may not be thinking about. And so that all, I think, needs to go into your decision-making process as well.
So I guess I'm torn between whether to amend this to make it a 6-month term or to amend it and say for the 1 year, but direct the county manager to begin exploration of an in-house legal department. So I guess I'm gonna, those would be the two ways that I would potentially amend this motion, but I would like to hear from the rest of the board on what their thoughts are.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to think that we should be held accountable to the citizens of Newton County. I think that my personal thoughts are that we should, if we said we were gonna do something, I mean, I know sometimes when you make a promise or you tell somebody you're gonna do something, you should be man enough or woman enough to do what you had said. And that was something that we drove and told and spoke and said and went around to community file chats and over at community meetings and said that that's what we were gonna do. And then when it comes time to do it, we said, well, oh, wait a minute. See, I'm not gonna do it. Nobody said it was painful, and nobody said that being a commissioner was easy. I mean, it's not easy. You know, you get a whole lot of people saying stuff to you probably don't want to listen to, but you smile and keep on walking. But I think we as commissioners, if we said we were going in-house and we sold it to everybody, then I think we should go in-house. And we should take it just a little bit step further. We should open it up for all the local attorneys, because we got a lot of good attorneys right here in Newton County, right around this square, who would be very pleased and proud to work for their county and represent their county on whatever issues that we might come across. So, you know, it's a lot of good lawyers. And I think that we should open it up for them to have the opportunity to be the county attorney. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Mason, I apologize. I overlooked you, sir, twice.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Lloyd may have somewhat touched on what I was kind of thinking in my mind as this conversation or discussion was going on. I know we've heard that, is it possible to have one single attorney that can do everything without them having to go outside and get outside resources? And so I know that can be a major expense, a major cost. If you do have someone in-house, and they are, like Lloyd said, able to save some monies, but still they're having to go outside when different situations or different legal matters arise. They have to go outside, which is going to be an additional cost or an additional expense for us. So I think during this period, we have to kind of look at it and say, okay, well, do we, first of all, know anyone that can do that? And if so, what would that cost be? And then two, I think a lot of times, you know, and I've learned this in my short period of time, sometimes something sounds like a great idea. And yes, we're going to go for it. We're going to do this. But when you put that idea out there, you may not have looked at the logistics of what it may take to bring that idea to fruition. And so I think sometimes we should keep in mind that, yes, we may have put it out there that it's a good idea to have a county attorney or in-house county attorney, but at the same time, will that still really save us money, or will it cost us more? So it's a possibility that, yes, it may be a great idea to have an in-house attorney, but when we sit down and look at it from a logistical perspective, it may cost us more. So I think that's where we have to really look at all of the areas. And I understand that sometimes we put things out there and, you know, we tell our citizens, yes, this will be great, that'll be great. And sometimes our citizens don't understand exactly what it takes to make that happen. And so I think where we have to look at it from a different governing perspective, and if we're going to be we're going to be accountable for what we say, then what we need to do is, going forward, look at things from a logistical perspective, look at all the details before we put it out there, so that we don't look as if we're making a promise and we're under-delivering. We don't ever want to over-promise and under-deliver. We want to, you know, under-promise and over-deliver is our objective. And so I think it's a great idea to have an in-house attorney if it is going to be financially sound for us. So I'm open to either way.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Edwards, and then Commissioner Gow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I know in the recent past, I've been a proponent of exploring the possibility of an in-house attorney, and I thought we took some steps to move in that direction, at least to do a financial analysis of the possibility of that scenario. So, what concerns me at this moment is everybody in this horseshoe knows, as of 12/31, we've got issues that Gerard and Davis is handling right now, knee deep in right now. So, we've got that kind of, that's cause for concern for me. So we've got to keep them engaged to an extent. Now, this would be my suggestion. If both sides, Gerard and Davis, and they obviously through this discussion they understand, and Megan's even heard it before in-house attorney discussion. So we go through another year. We agree to the 1-year term, but we both have our exit strategies that cost. I don't think they cost either side any money. So with that understanding, if we come up with a better option in terms of an in-house attorney, then Gerard and Davis knows that that's probably that's the direction we would go. But at this very moment, we've got some overarching issues that have to be dealt with, in my opinion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Calvin, then Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we all came in 2017, no offense to anybody, but this board was a train wreck. And there was a lot of fires out there. And I will say that Gerard and Davis has been putting out fires continually, so I know their costs have been pretty high. But they've helped us get a lot of stuff under control. And as Lloyd said, and as Commissioner Mason has said, they do have a variety of attorneys. It's a one-stop shop, basically. You can get, they can pretty much handle what we need to handle without sending it somewhere else. And we do have some future things coming down the road. We've got some things present, as Commissioner Edwards mentioned. I think y'all know there's a couple of future things coming down the road too that we're going to need their help on. So I'm thinking in terms of, don't get me wrong, I'm fine with an in-house counsel if that's the way the board would like to go. But maybe right now is not the time to pull the trigger on it. It may be that we do a 6-month, reevaluate it. And maybe that we go 1 more year. I don't know. You know, when you're getting sued, you kind of want the biggest hired gun you can find. And they've got some good staff attorneys up there with them. Not saying that for Sam's benefit, but he's just a super nice guy. But I just think maybe, you know, like I said, I'm fine with creating that law department. I think we need to venture further into that, as Commissioner Edwards mentioned. But right now, maybe we just need to, you know, I just see a few more fires being lit. And y'all know them too. I mean, I need their help.
Commissioner Henderson, then Commissioner Schultz.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I don't want to be all night. And I know you don't want to be all night debating on questions. It's just 1 or 2 things that I just want to just bring to our attention. Mostly everybody that we sued, they settled with. It wasn't like you went to court and they went out there and presented the case. They settled the case. And a prime example, and I think it was published in the paper, so I'm not disclosing the make, was the Anthony Avery case. They settled for $500,000. And my understanding, I don't know, maybe Lord can correct me, we paid them through our insurance company $250,000 to settle the case. And I just don't, maybe I'm just living in the poor neighborhood, and I think it's a whole lot of money that you could pay way less for. And secondly, and if I could ask for this information, how many millions as of last year, or close to $1 million, or whatever the case, have we paid Gerard and Davis for their services? I just think that it's too high. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Schultz. Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to amend my motion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the motion to appoint Gerard and Davis for a one-year term and simultaneously direct the county manager to explore options for an in-house legal department that he will report back to us during the budget process.
Can you go into more detail about that legal department, please?
Well, I just want him to assess the options. I want him to evaluate and assess the options of an in-house legal department, including budgets and mechanics of how that department would be set up. So provide us a proposal for an in-house legal department.
Okay. We did, someone mentioned earlier that we had done, and we did do a lot of that work, but we did not go to the extent of doing a proposal. So we can certainly work on that and have that prepared for you during the budget process. Also, I don't remember what the exact number was, the cost of the settlement, Commissioner, but I'll get those numbers for you, but I don't. I mean, as far as what the attorney's fees were, I'll be glad to, but I will be glad to get those for you.
Can I get a second? Oh, I'm sorry, Stan. I'm sorry.
He's standing.
Okay, stand in.
So I just want to say thank you for all the kind words that have been said from everyone. And we like working with you, and we'll work with you as long as you need us to.
Thank you, sir. It's been motioned by Commissioner Schultz and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Pass 4-1. Next is the appointment of the county clerk to another one-year term. I seek a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Mason.
I'm just gonna tell you, Miss Jackie Smith, she is she's the smartest county clerk that we have ever had sitting behind this horseshoe. And she loves us all, because there's been times before we may have changed a little bit on this board that Miss Smith would cry. And it's very, very touching to me, and she would just be crying. She said, JC said, all y'all are commissioners. So we just all just try to compromise and live together as we can. But, we all elected, most of us, except for the chairman, in districts. And we all think of ways in which we think maybe we should go and way we should help or assist the chairman in the governing the citizens of Newton County. And Miss Jackie, she would just cry. But over the years, I know her family, Mr. Bug, and her sons and stuff, just really good people. And I can tell you one thing, if you ever come to her office and if you need a prayer, and most people come and ask for prayer, she's a good Christian person, and me and her both will sit up if I'm there and we'll pray. And that's what we should do as Christians. We love you, Miss Jackie.
Right. Anyone else? Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have to concur with Commissioner Henderson. Being here for a short period of time, when I initially came on, Ms. Jackie basically welcomed me with open arms, prayers, smiles, everything. And it was just an amazing feeling. Now, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she keeps up with all five of us. But she does a phenomenal job. Every time I email her back and forth, she's on point, and so it has just been an amazing blessing. I know last year I had gotten the wind that she might be leaving. I was like, no, I need some time.
She ain't going away.
Thank you. So I want to keep her as long as I'm here, of course, as long as God allows. And so I just want to say, Ms. Jackie, I love you. I appreciate everything that you do. And thank you for keeping me on track. I got 2 more classes and I will be a certified commissioner. And so I'm excited about that because Ms. Jackie has been keeping me on track. And so I'm excited about that. So thank you so much.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I guess it was a month and a half ago that I sat up here and said as kind of things as I could say about the late Chief Turner. But you were right there with him on a par. Y'all are peas in a pod. So thank you for all you do.
Commissioner Cowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was sitting here trying to think of something bad I could say about Jackie, and I couldn't come up with nothing. But after we beat the attorneys up, it's good to talk to you. We appreciate you, Ms. Jackie, and everything you do.
Anyone else? Okay, I go. You sure? I go. All right.
I'm afraid I'll start crying. Jackie keeps us all in mind. Like her, we all have some cat-like features, all of us, and it's interesting to herd cats. But I will say that when back in November when we had the district meeting for for ACCG, I had the privilege of calling all of the county clerks for the 5th district, and they're all wonderful. They all do the same kind of thing for their boards, but Miss Jackie is really a cut above all of them. So a county is only as good as their county clerk, and you are definitely a cut above.
She is. It is, I'm gonna use Demond word. It's amazing, to get up every day, and I try to get here about 7, a little bit after 7, and you come in and you greeted by somebody like this. It's amazing to me. Somebody that has so much love for people, as well as this county. I've been trying to get Miss Jackie some help for 3 years. I'm gonna get it done this year. But she always tell me if they don't love Newton County, I can't work with them if they don't love Newton County. She said they gotta love Newton County. So that's what I do. I love Newton County, and it's amazing to me. I've been in church a long time. I've been preaching for probably 18 years. I have never met anyone quite like you. It's unbelievable. To come to work every day for the past 3 years, I have never seen her with a frown on her face. It's crazy. I walk around here and I think I'm a happy person. But when I see Miss Jackie, it's just unbelievable. And I wish all of Newton County had the opportunity to meet you, to see you, and just see the love that you have for this community in your heart. So I love working with you. And as always, you my mama. Amen. Yes, sir. Oh, we definitely can. We definitely can. We definitely can. And y'all, I know we are close to getting out of here early. So, but I'm gonna allow Miss Jackie to just take a minute or two to say something, because I know she has a big heart and I know she can say something. We will have to see.
I want to say that my love from all of you, first my love from my family, precious sweetheart of 46 years. My love for my family, my love for all of you because you are my family, and my love for you is only exceeded by my love for my Lord and my Savior. And I have no doubt He brought me here. And I'm as happy today as I was really 26 years ago when I came here. There's so many wonderful people in Newton County. And your hands stretch out far for your goodness and your kindness to others. And everybody up here is just, I love them. I don't want them to be disgruntled with each other. I know that's part of life. But the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's the reason I'm happy. If you see anything good in me, it's because of Jesus. It's not because of me. And I just pray the blessings of God upon our board and what they do for others and upon all of you. And I thank the Lord for letting me be here. And I thank all of you for your kind words and for saying you love me. I feel like Sally Field one time when she got an Academy Award. She said, they like me. They really like me. And that's the way I feel. And I love you. And I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Next is item number 15, resolution R010720, a resolution to set the 2020 qualifying fees. Mr. Kerr. I'm sorry, Sam.
So, if anyone who's been elected will be familiar with qualifying fees, the statute determines how each of these fees is calculated, and some of you may see a different fee, a larger fee than you recognize. That's because the fee is in part contingent on the actual compensation for the particular office, or in some cases, the population of the county increasing. If you have a specific question about a specific fee, I can try to answer it, but it should be fairly straightforward in the resolution.
Any questions, Commissioner?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you just call out the fees for all the candidates? I'm pretty sure that I'll do it. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell me again why the chairman fee is the highest fee?
Oh, he's the most important person in the county, right?
No, you don't either.
When you compare the chairman with the four constitutional officers above, the statute specifies that those constitutional officers' qualifying fee is based on a base salary that is in a table in the state statute. Your office, in contrast, is based on a base salary that is set by local legislation that was last changed, I believe, in 1994. So although the actual base salary you receive may be the same, the base salary for purposes of calculating the qualifying fee is actually different. If you don't know why, you have to talk to your representative. I have no idea why they did it that way.
Thank you. Any more questions? Definitely don't know. So I seek a motion. I seek a motion to approve, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any more discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, alcohol license final reading, CVS Pharmacy 5384, Highway 20 South, Covington, Georgia. Courtney Evans, District 2. Final reading.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final reading for CVS Pharmacy 5384, Highway 20 South, Covington, Georgia, with Courtney Evans in District 2.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Next, final reading, Circle K, 4175 Salem Road, Covington, Georgia. Amanda Clay, District 2, final reading.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion for the final reading for Circle K, 4175 Salem Road, Covington, Georgia, Amanda Clay in District 2.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Schultz. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Final reading, Walgreen, store number 12621, 12955 Brown Bridge Road, Covington, Georgia. I think that's Patrina Eaton, District 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve the final reading for Walgreens, store number 12621 at 12955 Brown Bridge Road, Covington, Georgia, for Ms. Patrina Eaton in District 2.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second again by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Number 19, alcohol renewals. Okay. So I seek a motion of approval, please. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Schultz.
So, didn't we just do the alcohol renewal? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do we have any,
violations?
any violations on these?
No. No, ma'am.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is citizens' comments. This opportunity, we allow citizens to come up and make comments about any topic. If you will, please come down, state your name and address for the record, please. You may come at this time. You have 3 minutes to do so.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, please.
My name is,
You're more than welcome to come up to the podium, please. Please state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you, sir. You got a preacher's voice.
Well, Mr. Chairman, we met about 3 years ago,
Okay.
right in back at the tag place. My major concern topic,
Can you tell us your name and your address, please?
oh, okay. My name is Willie Benton. I'm at 50 Edinburgh Lane, Covington, Georgia. That's Coldwater Creek subdivision. My main problem is, number one, is safety. When we come out of Coldwater Creek subdivision, we are approaching Highway 212. Well, the speed limit right there is 55 miles an hour, and the trees are blocking that entrance. It's hard to see. You got to pull almost out in 212 to see what's coming. So I like to direct that to whoever's responsible in there. And then summertime is coming. I've been living there for 13 years, and there's 13 vacant lots in there, and very seldom see somebody come and maintain the right of way. Also, I like to know what qualify our subdivision to get the street repaved. There's a lot of bumpy street splitting and all that kind of stuff. There is more, but I like to be headed in that right direction to see who I talk to and how we get this issues resolved.
Thank you, sir. Immediately after the board meeting, we will definitely get with you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Alonzo Bailey. I live at 210 Stewart Hollow Lane in Covington. My complaint is school taxes. And I'm paying school taxes and don't have any kids. I've been married 50 years, that way with a Ford. My wife had one miscarriage. That's it. And I'm paying school taxes every year and don't have no kids in school. And I'm 75 years old, and I don't think I should be doing that. And I would like for someone to assist me on who I could talk to, and am I in the right place?
Someone will get with you in just a second. I would tell you this, you are not in the right place. The right place is the school board.
Yes.
Yes, so you would have to meet with the school
Yes,
board.
I went there. Mr. Edward told me to go see
Yeah.
Samantha Fury.
Mhm.
She said the school board did what they supposed to do and left up to the county now.
Well, someone will get with you after this meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good evening, Scott J. Star Street. A point of, well, if you look at item number 11 and item number 15 on your agenda, they have the exact same resolution number. Okay. And thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate the opportunity. And Miss Jackie's the best.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else? Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. Happy New Year, everyone. I look forward to working with each of you, and I look forward to being a very, very productive year for the Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cowell.
Surely switched it up. Just reinforce what Sam said. I'm looking forward to the new year. I just can't believe it's 2020. I can't get that concept in my head yet. We're supposed to be living on the moon by now. That's what I was told when I was a kid. so and in some ways, wow, there's a few folks living on the moon. I think. But looking forward to this coming year. Working with everybody again. As again, I've said this many times, I really appreciate the teamwork that we have. Like I said, we don't always agree, but we're not in the business of chewing people up. So, and Sam, appreciate y'all. Gerard and Davis, y'all take it well. But nobody likes the attorney. As Jackie said, when I put my long coat on, she said, "You look like a Philadelphia lawyer." I said, "Yeah, but I got my hands in my own pockets." so anyway, I look forward to the new year.
Commissioner Schultz.
I was expecting you to.
I know, me
I didn't
too.
read you right. So happy New Year to all of you. We received an email from Caitlin Jeff from the Covington News to reflect back on 2010 and now 2020. And so I went back and I pulled a newsletter that I used to write back in 2010, and each year I do several newsletters. And it's amazing to me how much we really have accomplished in the last 10 years, but so much of it has been accomplished in the last 3 years. So much good has been accomplished in the last 3 years. And I'm so pleased to serve with this board. I look forward to this next year. I think that the strategic plan has been a tremendous benefit to give us all direction, give the citizens a star that they can see where we're headed, and our department heads, it's really helped focus all of us. And so I look forward to 2020, and I'd be on board with all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Happy New Year to everyone as well. I'm grateful that I'm still here in this new year, in this new decade that we have entered into. I'm really excited to be a part of this board, this team. I want to thank each and every one of you individually for the guidance that each and every one of you shared with me in 2019. And so I'm looking forward to more guidance, more learning, more development in 2020 because my objective is to be the best that I can be in every area of my life. That is definitely my objective. And of course, one being the commissioner. Somebody, clap for me. You got me. Somebody must have said I talked too long, huh? Thank you guys for an amazing last year. I'm looking forward to a great year this year. Lloyd, thank you so much for those sessions that we had, you know, keeping me up to date, keeping me abreast on everything, sharing all that great information with me so that I can help make the best decisions I can. I want to thank Megan and Gerard Davis. Man, you guys have just helped us out a lot this year, last year, and looking forward to another great year. And of course, definitely Ms. Jackie. I've already kind of told you my sentiments and how much I love you and care about you. And to each one of these commissioners, thank you guys so much for allowing me to come in, welcoming me, and helping me. And let's make 2020 an even better year, go to the next level. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
But first, well, it's one or two things I just want to mention a little bit. When the citizen comes up to the podium, I think some citizens, which has been kind of told to me, that before a card that he or she may give to the county clerk with their name and address on, rather than just telling everybody their name and address for whatever reason. You know, these are kind of hard times. But just a little bit about me briefly. You know, I was raised in a time when, you know, I was raised to say you're a man of your word. But if you said something, then it's so man. Now the old used to be the younger person on the board, the older person on the board. Now if you said something, you kept your word. Because of how bad you may feel, my grandmama and my mother raised me to keep my word. And that's what I've tried to do over the years. I've tried not to straddle the fence, saying, well, you know, I might go this way, or I might go this way, or I might go. I've told you exactly what it is that I would do and how I would do it. And I stand up with it and for it. And you know, just maybe it's the trying times, and maybe some of the younger people don't have the same values that I have, or that some of you may have. And so we are just praying and asking God to come in and give us that particular leadership. And one last thing, I can remember a few times we came here and when we were talking about attorney fees, it was so many people came up and said, no, it's the wrong fee. And now the fees are double and triple, and they're not saying a word. So maybe they're not concerned about their tax dollars and whether they're being spent or the service. But look at it and research it for yourself. And you might have the same conclusion as this old man up here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Guys, I briefly just want to say, again, I don't think Dave and Sarah, I think they doing an excellent job. I have gotten calls from several chairmen asking me, what are we doing? You know, I'll name one of them because I know he wouldn't mind me calling out his name. One is just right up the street here in Rockville. What are y'all doing? How y'all keep getting these deals down there in Newton County? So I would say this. I think I appreciate the Chamber of Commerce. You know, I think they giving us an opportunity for us, the county and the city, to actually step up to the plate and take economic development even to another level. So I personally look forward to doing that. you know, it's our job to do what we need to do to um, get some of these taxes off our citizens. And if we can get industry in here, that's what we need to do. So, yeah, we need to utilize our team to the best of their ability. I think this is going to be a great year for us. I'm excited about 2020. I think there's some great things coming. There's some more announcements. Um, can I say them? Oh, okay. So there's some more announcements. There's some more announcements that's coming soon, and I'm excited about that. And not only me, I think the citizens are excited about that. Opportunity for their taxes to go down some. So we need to do whatever we can to take that burden off of them. And if industry is the way, hey, let's welcome industry here in our community. But let's make sure we got everything in place we need. We make sure we have smart growth to do things the right way. So I'm excited about it. Um, I love working with this team. I think we got a great team, and I look forward to doing that in 2020. And I ain't seen the sheriff this year, so happy New Year, Sheriff. Yeah. I don't think we have a need for executive session. Yep, I don't think we have a need for executive session. So I seek a motion. All in favor?